The Astros aren't joking around when it comes to playing the Phillies. They have a 32-19 record against them since 2004. Today, Bud Norris faces Cy Young candidate Roy Halladay as the Astros go for the sweep. So get your victory cigar ready. Astros baseball is next on Fox Sports Houston. Roberto Clemente Day in Major League Baseball. It's the finale of this three-game series. The Houston Astros take on the Philadelphia Phillies. And from Minute Maid Park, live, everybody, Bill Brown and Jim DeShays, good afternoon. And Roberto Clemente Day, we'll be highlighting the life of a great ball player throughout the day, but also a very good baseball game today as the Phillies are pushing to clinch a playoff spot, and they have thrown some good pitching, and the Astros have won the first two, JD.
Yeah, and the Philadelphia Phillies have not yet been swept in a three-game series this year. The Astros have a chance to do that this afternoon, but they've got to go over a big hill to do it. They have to beat Roy Halladay, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, could be on his way to back-to-back Cy Young. 17-5 with a 2.44 ERA. The starting pitching for the Astros in this series has been outstanding so far. Today it's Bud Norris's turn. He's 6-9 with a 3.78. No decision last time out, despite a very good start in Washington.
Coming up from Minute Maid Park as the Astros get set to go on the road, we look back at a tremendous ball player, Roberto Clemente, and we'll be hearing a lot more about his life and career as we move throughout the day today. It's the Astros and the Phillies next.
Game of this three-game set and the homestand, brief as it may be. The Astros are on the field. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays are in the booth.
Thank you very much, Greg. And the finale of this brief homestand, as you mentioned, here's the Phillies starting lineup. Shane Victorino's in center field, Placido Polanco at third base, Hunter Pence in right field, the cleanup man is first baseman Ryan Howard. In left field, it's Raul Ibanez. The catcher is Carlos Ruiz. Pete Orr gets the call at second base with Michael Martinez, the shortstop, and Roy Halladay, the pitcher.
And for the Astros, it's Bud Norris towing the slab this afternoon. He's looking for his 7th win. He's got 9 losses. He's got a 3.78 ERA.
He just threw strike one to Shane Victorino. He bangs out a line drive to left center field. Jordan Schaefer giving chase. Victorino heading for second. And he's in with a stand-up leadoff double. His 24th double of the year for Victorino.
Putting together another solid season, you could make a pretty good case for Shane Victorino being the MVP of this team. People say, what? What Ryan Howard has done? This guy, he's got tremendous numbers. He's a great defender.
Placido Polanco is excellent at advancing a runner after a leadoff double. 24 doubles for Victorino. Polanco can steer that ball to the right side. This one's inside, and it's ball 1 to Polanco. 276 his average. 5 homers. He's driven in 45.
This early in the ball game, as a pitcher, you can't be worried too much about trying to prevent Polanco from hitting the ball to the right side. You just got to try to get outs.
Smashes one up the middle and on through into center field. Victorino's being sent home by Juan Samuel. Schaefer's throw to the plate. High, backed up by Norris, who relays to second, not in time. 1-0 Phillies as Polanco drives in his 46th and then takes second base on the throw.
Yeah, you got to keep him at first base there. It would have been very difficult to think you could throw out Shane Victorino, who really runs well on this ball. One thing if it's a line drive, one hop to you out there in center. He is fairly shallow, but they had no play at home. The throw way too high could not be cut, and that allows Polanco to just ease on into second base. You've got to keep the double play in order there. But winless in his last 4. You're looking at his last 3 starts, 2 of them very good. The start in San Francisco, he was outstanding. Punched out 10, had electric stuff that day, and then last time out also very good against the Nationals.
Former Astro Hunter Pence is the batter. Slider ball 1 to Pence, a 313 hitter, 20 homers, 87 runs batted in. He's 5th in batting average in the National League and hit home run number 20 here last night as the Astros beat the Phillies 5-2. Hunter had 2 hits, a double and a single in the opener of the series. Looks at a strike to even the count at 1-1. In Hunter's career, he's hit 300 at Minute Maid Park, 54 homers. Phillies are 5th in the National League in runs scored. Bounce back to Norris. He checks the runner at second. Gets out number 1. Phillies have lost 3 in a row, but since the All-Star break, they're 37-17.
I believe it's the first time since the break they've lost 3 in a row.
I think you're right.
Well, here are the Astros defensively this afternoon. Martinez, Schaefer, Bogasevic cover the outfield. Paredes, Barmes, Altuve, Lee, third, short, second, and first. Quintero behind the plate.
Ryan Howard has been nominated for the Roberto Clemente Award. He is the Phillies nominee. Jason Bourgeois, the Astros nominee. Howard with 33 homers has 112 runs batted in. He leads in runs batted in. Smacks it and into the shift. There's the second baseman Altuve spinning around and throwing to Lee on a 1-hopper to right field. That's out number 2 with Polanco advancing.
Howard can only laugh. Puts a good swing on this one, but Altuve out there playing rover.
Sure was.
It's cover 2.
Carlos was darting for the bag, and Polanco advancing to third as that throw got over to first base, and Carlos turned and Altuve floated it right to him. Now Ibanez looking at strike 1 at 248 with 18 homers has driven in 72. Raul got the call in the opener of this series in left field and had a double and 2 walks Monday night.
So really you can make a case that Jordan Schaefer sailing the ball over the cutoff man turned out to be a positive for the Astros. Because if Polanco's still at first, they're playing at double play depth, and that's a base hit for Howard, and they're first and third.
Interesting. Okay.
In no way am I trying to explain it away as a good play, just a bit of unexpected fortune.
3-1 play for out number 3, and it's 1 run, 2 hits, and a runner stranded at third base. Phillies score first, 1-0. Game series sweep of the year. Jordan Schaefer leads off in center. Clint Barmas is at shortstop. J.D. Martinez in left field. It's Carlos Lee at first base. In right field, Brian Bogasevic. Jimmy Paredes at third. Jose Altuve at second. Humberto Quintero the catcher for Bud Norris.
The Astros trying to beat Roy Halladay. 3 times he's taken them out against the Astros. And 1-1 with a 164, 20 strikeouts in 22 innings. Has not walked an Astro yet in those 3 starts. His only start on this ballpark came last year, and he threw a complete game, allowed 1 run. It was unearned.
Last year's Cy Young Award winner in unanimous fashion. And he pitched a perfect game during the regular season, a no-hitter in the playoffs. Jordan Schaefer takes his first pitch, and it's ball 1 from Halladay. 243 for Schaefer, 2 homers, a dozen runs batted in for Jordan. Halladay missing low. And the count runs to 2-0.
Halladay's going to throw a bunch of cut fastballs. He'll also throw 2 seamers that'll run away from a lefty and on the right-handed hitters. You just never know which way it's going to go. Kind of like Kevin Brown back in the day.
Yeah.
Good sink.
Carapaz is the home plate umpire. Little chop goes foul.
An off-speed pitch, probably a split finger pitch from Halladay, and he also has a good curveball.
Punch to the third baseman, and the looping liner is caught by Polanco for out number 1.
Phillies very strong defensively this year. In the outfield, it's Ibanez, Victorino, and Pence. Polanco, Martinez, or Howard on the infield. Rollins getting the day off. Chase Utley not yet back, dealing with concussion. And Chooch Ruiz is the catcher.
Now using a Craig Biggio model bat, it's Clint Barmas. He used it last night and had a big game. There's strike 1 to Barmas. Hit his 11th homer. He's driven in 34 with a .252 batting average. He had a double and a 3-run shot last night.
See that number 7 on the knob.
Yeah. It's an M9 Biggio bat, the same model as Craig used for his 3,000th hit. It's maple, and it's working very well for Clint Barmas.
Yeah. If it works good against Halladay, then you really want to hang on to that one.
7. Paid a visit to Clint this morning. They talked about it a little bit after his excellent game using that same bat last night. In the air off the end of the bat. This one goes over toward the Astros dugout and behind it. There's a snag by the guy with a glove. No, guy in front of him got it. Didn't need a glove to catch that. So the guy with the glove couldn't quite get to it.
Why bring the glove if you can't make the play?
And reaching for that one, Barma strikes out. 2 outs for Halladay. He's 4th in the league in strikeouts. That's number 205 of the year.
Well, there's the grip right there. You see the split finger grip, and then you see the action. Dive bomber at the end. What a remarkable run it has been for Roy Halladay. And you see the breakdown on him among active pitchers. He's 2nd in wins, 1st in complete games, winning percentage, shutouts, and walks per 9. 8-time All-Star and doing a lot of that good work in the American League East when he was with Toronto against the likes of the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Strike to J.D. Martinez. 5 homers, 30 runs batted in at .269 average for J.D., who had an RBI double in the first inning last night. And Monday night in the opener of the series, he had 3 hits and scored 3 runs. At home, J.D.'s hitting .313 in 20 games. Backhanded. Here's Martinez with the throw, and a stretching Howard receives it in time for out number 3. It's a 1-2-3 first for Halladay and a 1-0 lead for the Phillies after 1.
Date. It was on this, well, the whole year in 1967. Roberto Clemente only hit .415 with 4 homers, 20 runs batted in, 4 stolen bases, 5 triples, and a .769 slugging percentage against the Astros. That was a memory for him. In 16 games, he was hard to get out.
1-0 the Phillies lead it, but Norris facing Chooch. Carlos Ruiz leading it off in the 2nd inning. Looking at ball 1 with a .285 average, 6 homers, 35 runs batted in for Ruiz. It's in the dirt for Norris, and it's a 2-ball no strike count for Bud. Astros starting pitching has really been something lately. And the club has benefited in the win column from how well the starters have done. Fastball fouled away. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Last time around the rotation, good starts for everybody except for Henry Sosa. He got touched up in his start there in Washington, but everybody else pitching very well.
It's rocked out to center field on a line to Schaefer. 1 out. The only 3-game sweep the Astros have had at home this year was from the Pirates at the end of August. For the last 5 series have been sweeps by one team or another when the Astros and Phillies have met. Pete Orr, the Canadian-born second baseman at 250, has driven in 4. Chase Utley is due to rejoin the Phillies tomorrow. They go back home for a day-night doubleheader. He's been out with a concussion for a few days. Orr puts it in the air to right center field. Bogusevic running back. 2 outs. Jimmy Rollins resting today. He's coming back from an injury, so the Phillies have backup infielders at both the shortstop and second base positions for this game. And the shortstop is Martinez. Martinez, a .203 hitter with 3 homers, has 24 runs batted in. Michael's a switch hitter.
So certainly this lineup a little bit easier to pitch to than normally with no Utley, no Rollins.
Strike 1 for Norris. Martinez, a Rule 5 draft choice, made his major league debut at Philadelphia against the Astros in the season opening series. 0-2 to him. He is 0 for 6 in this series. Since the 25th of August, the Astros have a staff ERA of 3.17. Swing and a miss gets Norris a strikeout. Number 1 of the game for him. He has sent down the last 6. Phillies lead at 1-0 in the second.
September 22nd through the 28th. Score a $1 ticket for every full-price ticket purchased in select sections, including field boxes. You can also buy vouchers for dollar hot dogs and small sodas for each ticket purchase. Visit Astros.com/fan for dollar day tickets. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. 1-0 Phillies. The Astros come up in the bottom of the second inning. Carlos Lee first up with his day game crowd. Halladay gets a call in the outside corner for strike 1. Looks like the cut fastball. 278 for Carlos. 16 homers, 83 runs batted in. Fielded by Polanco, and he drops it. Now he throws late and high to first base. Lee reaching on the error by Polanco.
Yeah, looked like it was going to be a very slick play and a little bit of an in-between hop by Polanco, but could not finish the play. Big bounding ball, and he gets after it. Catches it out behind him, and as he tries to settle it into his glove, it squirts out. E5, leadoff man aboard. Bogusevic strides up here. Lefties having much more success in terms of batting average than righties against Halladay. Lefties hitting .270 against him. Right-handed batters just .217.
Lee reaching on Polanco's 8th error of the year. The Phillies made 2 miscues in the field last night. Bogusevic takes strike 1. 283 for Bryant, 4 homers. He's driven in 15.
Astros winning the first 2 games of this series, really playing good, solid baseball in all phases. No errors in either game. The pitching's been outstanding, and the hitting's been very good against top-flight pitching.
1-1, lefties 270 against Halladay with 3 long balls. Grounded through the left side. Sharply hit for a single for the Astros' first hit of the day. Bogusevic advances lead to second, and with nobody out, it's Jimmy Paredes coming up.
That leadoff base runner does. Phillies play for 2. That pinches the middle infielders towards second base, opens up a little bit more room between third and short, and Bogusevic able to take advantage of it.
Paredes, the switch hitting third baseman at 298, has 2 homers, 16 runs batted in. He started Monday night, had an RBI single in 3 trips, and also drew a walk. Chris Johnson got the start last night against the lefty Cole Hamels. Bunting, he drops it down inside the third base line. Barehanded, Polanco throwing safe at first. A bunt single for Paredes. The bases are loaded with nobody out. Very well placed by Jimmy Paredes.
Wow, that was Carew-like. Couldn't have rolled it out there any better. Polanco, it's not like he was caught by surprise. He was on the move. He had shortened up, but a great bunt, and with Paredes' speed, an almost impossible play.
Jose Altuve gets a bases loaded, nobody out opportunity to get the Astros on the board. Checking in at 277 with 2 homers. He's driven in a dozen. Altuve's hitting 133 in September with 4 hits and 30 at bats. He's 0 for 4 in this series. And now Ruiz goes out. As a team, the Astros are hitting 241 with the bases loaded this year. Halladay, a 2-time Cy Young Award winner.
1 in each league.
262 is the batting average for his opponents with the bases loaded. This year, they're only 1 for 8 against him.
This is the 4th consecutive year in which he has won at least 17 and punched out 200 or more. That almost never happens. Over the last 30 years, only 3 other pitchers have done it at least 4 times. Clemens 7 consecutive years. Pedro Martinez from 97 through 2000. And the big unit 97 to 2002.
Altuve grounds to third. Polanco comes to the plate for the force out. Now a relay, not in time for a double play at first by Ruiz. 1 out and the bases are loaded for Humberto Quintero.
Not sure why he didn't go around the horn for a double play there, because that was the play. He kept the run off the board, but he could have had 2 outs by going to second base. A much easier double play to complete. Clearly, that's what his plan was all along. It wasn't like he was thinking about it. He got it, came right home with the ball. But normally, that ball is when third baseman's going to try to go around the horn for a double play there. Give up the run and get 2 outs. But he felt like he had a chance, obviously, to get it this way and save a run.
Humberto Quintero gets the opportunity now with Norris on deck.
Or maybe it's Doc Halladay's mandate. Any chance you get, any time you get a chance to get the man at home, go ahead, and I'll take care of the rest.
261 for Q with 2 homers, 25 runs batted in. He's had some good games at the plate in recent days.
Don't worry about cleaning up the inning. Go ahead and get that man. I'll take care of it for you.
He just might. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Quintero has hit 269 so far in the month of September. He's driven in 4 in his last 5 games. Ground ball slowly hit. Polanco to his left, going to second for 1, and then a strong throw by Orr. Phillies get out of it. Bases loaded, nobody out, no runs, 2 hits, 1 error, couple men left, 1-0.
On Roberto Clemente Day, I want to introduce you to 2 very special guests. This is Ken Kelly. He is the Chevy District Sales Manager, and this is Javier Ferrer. Javier was the one that was able to present the Roberto Clemente Award to Jason Bourgeois on the field. And Ken, I know this is a very special day for you guys to be a sponsor. This is very involved in the community, as you always are.
Well, thank you, Patty. It's a very good day for us as Chevrolet celebrates 100 years of car business, and we're so excited to be affiliated with Major League Baseball and to be part of the Roberto Clemente Award. Roberto Clemente did so many things on the field and off the field, and his involvement with community activities is just far beyond what we could even imagine. So we're glad that we're here today to support the event, and we saw Javier out there today presenting the award to Jason Bourgeois, which was outstanding, and we're just glad to be part of this great organization with Major League Baseball and Roberto Clemente.
And Javier, I was down there on the field with you, watched you doing that. You look like you had a great time. Kind of just tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you, Patty. Absolutely. I really enjoyed it, and I'm actually very honored that Chevy picked me or selected me to present the award, the Roberto Clemente Award for the Houston Astros.
How did they select you? Tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, when I left the Navy, I came to Houston. I opened a medical spa. I donated a lot of gifts to nonprofit organizations to raise funds for the organizations to pay their expenses. Eventually, I founded Project Arise, which is a nonprofit organization that assists battered women, Spanish-speaking only. Then after that, I decided to do the Puerto Rican and Cuban Festival to educate basically the local community as to the culture, food, music of Puerto Rico and Cuba.
Awesome. And Ken, listen, one more time, we've talked a lot about the Roberto Clemente Day today, but, Chevy's involved in so much Chevy youth baseball around the community. It's not just about today.
Yeah, Patty, that's correct. Actually, our Chevrolet dealers are involved in a program called Little League Youth Baseball. And what we do, every dealer in the community supports a Little League baseball team. They're paired with that team, and those teams get baseball equipment, they get monetary donations, and they get baseball tickets as well. So that goes back to the community, and it's just an awesome time to support the youth and the kids in the community.
All right, well, we appreciate all that you do, and you did a great job today. Thank you guys for taking the time to visit with us.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Patty. 2 outs now, and Bud Norris throwing strike 1 to Polanco after Halladay grounded out, and Victorino hit a fly ball to center. Polanco had the RBI single, scoring Victorino in the first. That one bouncing from Bud Norris, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, Bud on a roll here. He's retired 8 in a row. Very similar to his last start. He gave up a 2-run home run to a Zimmerman in the first and then rattled off 12 consecutive outs.
Gets a swing and a miss there from Polanco, and the count runs to 1-2 for Placido.
Polanco doesn't swing and miss a whole bunch. Very good contact man with short stroke. But that's a good disappearing slider there from the Bud man.
Bud making his 30th start of the year, his 17th at home. Gets a foul ball there to keep it at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Gone slider away, fastball up and away. Probably contemplating running a 2-seamer in on his knuckles now.
He has been perplexing to right-handed hitters. They've hit only 208 off Bud.
Staying away.
And that works for strikeout number 2 and a 1-2-3 third. He's retired 9 in a row. It's 1-0 Phillies. Exactly 3,000 hits. Went into the Hall of Fame 1973 after his death in 1972. The Gold Glove every year. A 12-time All-Star. Just a terrific athletic performer.
Yeah, could really run the bases. Cannon for an arm out there in right field. That was his alley right there. He hammered the ball to right center.
What style throwing. Just an acrobatic front foot hitter, too. And there's strike 1 to Bud Norris. 1-0 Phillies. Norris with 7 hits and 50 at bats has a 140 average. He's driven in 5. Halladay throws a strike to him, and that makes it 0-2 for Doc. 17 wins, tying him for 3rd best in the National League. And Kennedy leads with 19. He got a no decision last night for Arizona. Popped up. Ryan Howard coming in for it. Takes care of out number 1. Bases loaded, nobody out for the Astros in the 2nd inning, and then a forced play at the plate and a double play ball, and Halladay got out of it.
Well, and to no one's surprise, right? I mean, it's not, you get the bases loaded, nobody out against some pitchers, and you're okay, crooked number for sure. But with Halladay out there, there's no guarantee you're going to push one across. He's that good.
The guy brought a computer and a broom. Jordan Schaefer, a little humpback liner to third base, 0 for 1. There's strike 1 to Schaefer.
Wonder if he got some weird looks leaving the house this morning from the neighbors. He has a briefcase, and a broom.
Rolled by the mound out to second. Here's the throw from Orr high, and it pulls Howard off the base. Schaefer's safe at first. Slowly hit ball, and Orr had to come in, then straightened up and make the throw, and it didn't happen for the Phillies, so Schaefer is on.
Sloppy defensively in this series. The Phillies have been a very good defensive team this year. Throw high, pulling Howard off the base. Not an easy play by any means.
Well, the Astros have 3 hits up on the scoreboard, so it's an infield roller for a single for Schaefer. Clint Barmas, the batter. He struck out in the 1st inning on an off-speed offering. Runner going. Here's a throw from Ruiz, bouncing, and that allows Schaefer to get in safely on a steal of second, his 19th steal of the year.
The Astros running aggressively on Cole Hamels yesterday, and Halliday does not have great numbers either holding base runners, and he's so hard to string hits together against. You might as well take some chances on the bases, especially with guys like Schaefer who can run.
Now Barmas pops it up. Shortstop Martinez comes in. 2 outs. And it'll be J.D. Martinez with the 2-out RBI opportunity. He rolled out to shortstop in the first.
Halliday goes east and west with his pitches, probably better than anybody in the game. Darting this way and that way, moving away from the barrel, induces a lot of weak contact. But the thing about him, he's not just a finesse guy with movement. He can overpower you too.
He was 21-10 last year. Strike there on a breaking pitch.
Came into this game having pitched 210 plus innings, walking just 29 and allowing only 9 home runs.
It's 1-1. Halliday pitched the opener in Philadelphia this year against Brett Myers. Gave up 1 run to the Astros in 6 innings. Trailed 1-0 when he came out. The Phillies won it late, 5-4. 2 balls and a strike. He's an extremely hard worker. Shows up in spring training about 5:30 in the morning. Some of the other Phillies pitchers started showing up early as well. But it's hard to outwork Roy Halladay. 34 years old, 6'6". First round pick of Toronto '95, came to the Phillies December of '09 in a 4-team deal. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros have won 9 of their last 13 at Minute Maid Park. They're 14-12 here since the All-Star break. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Phillies' magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 1. So if they win or St. Louis loses today, they're in the playoffs. Their magic number to clinch the Eastern Division is 5. Charlie Manuel only 7 wins away from number 1 on the all-time Phillies managerial win list. Lined and picked up on the short hop by Polanco, who throws out Martinez. No runs, a hit, a runner stranded. After 3, it's 1-0 Phillies.
Chevy, proud to support youth baseball leagues in your local community. If you'd like to learn more about the youth baseball programs by Chevy, go to youthsportswire.com. Brownie?
Thanks, Greg. Hunter Pence in the box, ready to go in the 4th inning. 1-0 Phillies. He cracks a line drive to center. Schaefer there. 1 pitch, 1 out for Norris. That's 10 straight retired by Norris. Pence 0 for 2 in this game, and it moves along to Ryan Howard next.
Bud showing a willingness to attack the strike zone early, and the Philly hitters fairly aggressive. Has been 3 or 4 pretty hard outs, but it's a trade-off as a pitcher. Sometimes you're willing to take, challenge the ball over the plate. So go ahead, take a whack at it, and you hope they put it in play where somebody can make a play for you.
Howard now is 0 for 8 in this series. He grounded out to Polanco actually in right field.
The longer the game goes and the tighter the game is, the less willing you become to do that. But early in the game, it's a sound strategy.
Howard looks at ball 1. It's upstairs, and it's a 2-ball, no strike count to Howard, who's walked 72 times this year. Phillies are the only club in the majors which has not been swept in a series of 3 or more games this year. Rolled over foul, and the last time they were swept in a series of 3 games was, in fact, last August against the Astros in a 4-game set at Citizens Bank Park. Astros a nemesis team for the Phillies the last few years. Howard looks at ball 3, and it's 3-1. Friday, the Astros open a brand new series in Chicago with day baseball matching Wandy Rodriguez and Matt Garza. That's a My 20 telecast at 1 o'clock Friday. Out to center field, Schaefer. 2 down. 11 straight Phillies have been retired. Phillies got 1 run on 6 hits Monday night. Last night they scored 2 runs on 5 hits. Norris mowing down Phillies here in this game after a Victorino double and a Polanco RBI single to open the game. Raul Ibanez grounded out his first time up. Norris missing. There's ball 1. It's in the air to shallow left field. J.D. Martinez moving in. And make it 12 straight Phillies retired by Bud Norris, and a 1-0 Philadelphia lead in the 4th. Day in Major League Baseball. We have special things to bring you throughout this game today. We've been doing that to highlight the life of Roberto Clemente. Today it's 1-0. The Phillies lead it on a first inning run, backing Roy Halladay. Bottom of the fourth inning is coming, and it's Lee, Bogusevic, and Paredes up against the Astros, who have 3 hits off Halladay. They loaded the bases with nobody out in the second. He got out of that and then stranded a runner at second in the third. Lee reached on an error to lead off that Astros second inning. He looks at strike one. Halladay trying to do something rarely done in Phillies history with a very good pitching line. And Bud Norris, too, pitching well today. 1 ball, 1 strike. With the win today, Halladay would become the first Phillies pitcher with back-to-back seasons of 18 wins or more since Steve Carlton, 1979 and 80. And the last Phillies right-hander to have back-to-back wins 18 or more was Jim Bunning, 1965 and 66, winning 19 in each of those 2 years. Foul tip, and that's a strikeout. Number 2 of the day for Halladay.
Halladay, big, strong guy, very efficient, 34 years of age, so he should still be able to pitch at a high level for, I don't know, another 3 or 4 years, perhaps. If he does, continues to rack up wins, we'll start talking about a Hall of Famer, perhaps.
Yeah. Brian Bogusevic hit a sharp single between third and shortstop his first time up.
Halladay came up as a young guy with Toronto in '98. Went 8 2/3 hitless in his second major league start. Bobby Higgins and the Tigers broke that up. And then hit a wall in 2000 with Toronto. Had an ERA of 10.64 in 13 starts and basically had to remake himself down in the minor leagues.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Al Queen, who was minor league pitching coach or minor league pitching coordinator for the Blue Jays, got with Halladay and said, look, man, you're just trying to blow the ball by everybody. You're trying to change the arm angle to create movement. And he started to go to work from there. And as they say, the rest is history.
Bogusevic fights it off.
That 10.64 ERA he had in 2000 was a record high for a pitcher with at least 50 innings of a pitch at the big league level.
Amazing.
Yeah. You know, he was a hard thrower. He threw 95, but it was pretty straight. Just got into a funk. Give him credit, his willingness to change, to adapt. And now he's kind of become the model for the modern pitcher. Trying to limit the pitches, to sink the ball, cut the ball, create movement, get a lot of ground balls.
Out to second base. Or over to Howard, 2 outs. He sure does have a lot of movement.
And allows him to pitch deep into games without making too many pitches.
St. Louis Cardinals are leading 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th at Pittsburgh this afternoon. Cardinals 6.5 games behind Milwaukee in the NL Central. And they are 4.5 behind Atlanta for the wild card lead. Jimmy Paredes takes it in tight. He bunted for a hit in the second inning. That loaded the bases with nobody out, but the Astros could not cash in. Halladay missing there. Goes to a 2-0 count. Charlie Morton started for Pittsburgh. Edwin Jackson took the first 6 2/3 of the game for St. Louis today. Foul ball makes it 2 balls and a strike to Paredes, 22 years old, from the Dominican, obtained in the trade with the New York Yankees for Lance Berkman last year. He and Mark Melanson, and he has gotten the bulk of the playing time last 6 weeks or so at third base. Two balls, 2 strikes. Astros outfielder Jason Michaels had surgery on his left hand today. That went well. He is out for the season. Grounded foul first base side, and the Astros will not replace him on the roster. They feel they have enough people on the club that they can get by. J. Mike is irreplaceable.
J. Mike might as well take it to the house.
Yeah. Another foul ball keeps the count at 2-2 with Altuve on deck. Phillies have won 45 games on the road this year. Their club record is 48. He's examining every stitch of that ball.
There's 108 of them. You don't have to count them. We got you covered.
That's lined out into left field. Ibanez over for the running catch to make it a 1-2-3-4. The Phillies lead of 1-0 is holding up through 4.
Astros nothing on Roberto Clemente Day, and I am up here with the Clemente family. There's 7 Clementes up here today. These two right here, this is Osvaldo. He is Roberto Clemente's nephew. He actually grew up with him because he was raised by Roberto's parents, and this is Osvaldo's daughter, Kalia. And I know this is a very special day for you guys. What does it mean for you to not only be here today, but to know that all of Major League Baseball is honoring Roberto Clemente?
Well, this is a very special moment in our lives. We're very honored to be here celebrating this day with all of these Major League Baseball players, and to know that they're following to my uncle's footsteps. That's very honoring.
You know, now obviously, you know, he passed away before you were even born, but his importance, his significance to baseball and beyond is not lost on you or the rest of your family, is it?
I know. It's amazing to know that people still remember him as if he was still alive. At work, I work for Chevron. One of my colleagues was the one who routed me out, and he talks about Roberto Clemente with such passion that it makes me feel really good that he made such an impact in people's lives.
Now, I asked your dad, and he's mostly Spanish-speaking, English not so good, so Callie is going to kind of tell the story about, you know, kind of just growing up, and he said he could recite so many things, but just giving us an example of what kind of, as a kid, you know, what he saw in him from an early age at baseball.
Yes, one of the most impressive stories for me was my dad was telling me earlier in the car when we were talking about him on our way here. He mentioned that when Roberto Clemente was growing up, there was a selection made from all the clubs throughout Puerto Rico to play baseball, and he didn't make the cut because he was not good enough then. So it was very devastating for him to hear those words, and he went home crying to his mom, and he told her, you know, they just said I'm not good enough for this. And his mom told him, are you just going to believe what everybody else tells you, or are you going to go out there and make a difference? Do you believe in yourself? And he is where he is today because he believed in himself, and that's very inspiring and comforting.
Well, absolutely. Thank you both for being here and sharing that story, and obviously he's made a difference that's gone beyond just your family, and that is what we are honoring here today. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Ruiz grounded out to shortstop. Now Pete Orr taking strike one in a 1-0 game. But Norris has retired 13 straight. Liner caught by Altuve. The Phillies got 2 hits. Victorino leading off the game with a double. Polanco with a single. That's been it. That's been their offense. And they're leading because Halladay is pitching his usual fine game. Martinez up next. He struck out in the second.
And because Polanco went home with that ground ball with the bases loaded as opposed to going around the horn for a double play.
Yeah.
It proved to be a very smart play the way this game is going.
Who knew?
Yeah, second guessed it at the time.
Halladay's on deck with Martinez taking ball one there from Norris. That evens it at 1-1. Norris has thrown only 47 pitches. But threw 116 last time out in 7 innings.
Well, you know, and really Bud Norris's stuff is every bit as good as Roy Halladay's. And he has a similar approach to pitching, that east-west with the running fastball away and then his slider in on lefties. If you can find the consistency that Halladay has had, who knows how far his talents can take him.
It's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Martinez. Boston, the wild card leader in the American League, has the edge on Toronto. 3-2, bottom of the 4th at Fenway today. John Lackey has the ball for Boston against Ricky Romero for the Blue Jays.
Halladay is kind of a pitching coach's dream because you can just, on the other dugout, you can just do what he does.
Carlos Lee takes it off his left hip, tosses to Norris. 15 straight Phillies have been retired by Norris. 1-0 Philadelphia.
Astros on Thursday, September 22nd for an exclusive Reckless Kelly CD release party presented by Budweiser. Purchase your ticket package at astros.com/reckless for game ticket, access to the pregame acoustic concert, and a copy of Reckless Kelly's new CD. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. 1-0. The Phillies lead it. They have 2 hits. The Astros have 3. Jose Altuve bounced into that force play at home plate in the second inning for the first out of that frame. Leads it off in the home 5th. Foul, and it's strike one for Halladay. Halladay has thrown 55 pitches to this point. That's looped out to left center field, and that will be a hit. And barehanded there by Victorino to keep the ball from going past him. Altuve leads off with a single here in the Astros 5th.
That was kind of a fun play to watch because you can crawl inside the mind of the hitter, the pitcher, and the outfielder. And Altuve's like, get down, get down. And Halladay saying, go ahead, Hawaiian, leave your feet, make a play.
Yeah. Looked like he might.
Yeah, he was closing on it, and then at the last just decided that he played safe, handle it on a hop, keep the double play in order.
Quintero grounded into the double play in the second inning. There's strike one to Q. He's a .327 career hitter against Philadelphia, 2 for 6 against Halladay. Brad Penny's on the mound today for Detroit at the White Sox. It's 4-1 White Sox, bottom of the third at U.S. Cellular. 0-2. Penny made an error, and 4 unearned runs have scored. Tigers with that long winning streak, the longest since '68, 11 in a row. That was the year Mickey Lolich had the big World Series, and they beat the Cardinals. Lolich winning 3 games.
You were Denny McClain 130.
I believe this was the anniversary of his 30th.
That's correct. Yep. First to do it since Dizzy Dean when McClain got there in '68. Nobody's done it since.
In the air, and the center fielder Victorino waits for this one.
Guys don't make as many starts now in the 5-man rotation. 25 has kind of become the reach number now. That hasn't happened since Bob Welsh got 27 back in 1990, I believe it was.
Bud Norris popped up first in the third inning. Schaefer's on deck with Norris batting here, and the Astros down 1-0. Showing Bud, he takes ball 1.
Bunt in order here, but this is a situation where you can kind of gamble a little bit if you're Brad Mills. It's so hard to get things done against a guy like Halladay. So if you get a successful sack down, you've got one chance with Schaefer up there, 2 outs to drive in a run. So it would be understandable if they were to roll the dice and put a little slug bunt, hit and run kind of play on, or just something out of the ordinary. Sometimes that's what you need to do to beat the elite pitchers in the game.
Oh, that one came up and in. Norris snaps his head around, looks out to Halladay. Wound up fouling that. And it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
There's that movement, just chasing Bud. He runs up and in. He's not able to get the bat out of the way in time. Maybe didn't want to. Figured keep the ball off his chin. He's looking at him like, come on, Doc.
Yeah. He bunts in the air, and that goes foul, 1-2. Did you happen to see the highlights of the Arizona game last night with Gerardo Parra?
I did not.
He was squaring to bunt. The pitch was right at his head from Hong Chi Kuo of the Dodgers. He went down. And then right after that, he hit a home run and stood there at home plate and admired it. And there were some words exchanged as he crossed home plate with the catcher, A.J. Ellis. And then a little bit later on, fingers were being pointed by Clayton Kershaw over to Kirk Gibson. And it got pretty interesting. That bunt goes foul, and that's a strikeout. Third strikeout for Halladay, and Mr. Kershaw happens to be pitching against the D-backs later. So Norris retired. Now it's Schaefer coming up.
Very difficult to bunt that pitch. It's a tough assignment, but just kicks it away in disgust. Now, situation calls for Altuve to try to steal a base.
Schaefer has hit that looping liner to third and then reached on an infield hit. He stole a base in the third. The Astros 4 for 4 in stealing against the Phillies this year. He takes off with a big jump. No throw, as Ruiz could not get a handle on that. Altuve gets steal number 6 in 8 tries.
Tuve being so short, he has to rely on a little more carry on his head first dive to get to second base. Almost came up a little shy.
Strike to Schaefer. That makes it 2-1 to Jordan.
That's jarring. He has the advantage of being a little lower to the ground when he starts, but still it takes its toll on the body.
It does. Played on a hop by Polanco. He gets it over to Ryan Howard. And in the 5th inning, it's no runs a hit. A man stranded after 5, 1-0 Phillies. J.D. Martinez and the shortstop. Martinez for the Pirates, for the Phillies rather. Michael Martinez gets him by half step at first. 1-0 ball game. The Phillies lead it. They come up in inning number 6 with the pitcher Roy Halladay leading it off. He grounded out earlier. And taking ball 1 there. 15 straight Phillies have been retired by Norris. Astros released their 2012 schedule today. They'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the team next year. Line drive into the right field corner. Bogusevic comes up with it on a line single by Halladay, and he's the first Philly to reach since the second batter of the game.
How ironic is that? Yeah, I was looking at that Astros schedule and open the year at New York, and then we go to Boston, and then on to Toronto, and then back here to play Cleveland, Detroit, and Seattle. So this American League thing's going to work out pretty good. Just kidding. Just kidding. Relax, everybody.
Halladay's a base runner. Victorino the batter. He doubled to left center opening the game and then scored on the Polanco hit.
Bud Norris so smart. The only guy he's going to let reach base is Roy Halladay, so he can make him work out there a little bit.
Paredes in on the grass at third. Victorino looks at it, and he's ahead 2-0.
First time Bud has had to work from the stretch in quite a while. Sometimes that can take you out of your game a little bit. Do you see 90 wins in that schedule, Brownie?
Pretty hard to put him down right now, isn't it?
Settle for 75 after this year.
3-0. Well, the home and season opener will be at Minute Maid Park Friday, April 6th against Colorado next year, after a couple of exhibition games against the White Sox. April 3rd and 4th. And the White Sox will be coming back to play here in interleague play. Opening at home against Colorado and Atlanta. First road trip includes the new stadium in Miami. Interleague games feature Texas, 2 series there. Kansas City, Cleveland, and the White Sox. 27 of the final 30 games against the Central Division. Victorino taking the first walk of the ball game. Moves Halladay to second base. Now Brad Mills is coming out with Polanco the batter.
The Astros go to the White Sox.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. 4 trips to Chicago.
Yeah, you're right. We talked about that earlier.
So Cleveland comes here. Kansas City comes here. Kansas City's kind of an intriguing club. Good young talent. Hosmer and company.
Mike Moustakas. Gordon.
Yeah.
Well, they talk about it on the mound, and now Brad Mills back to the dugout in this 1-0 game with runners at first and second, nobody out. Polanco coming up. Polanco can do a lot of things with a bat.
Yeah, this is a very dangerous situation here now. First, second, nobody out. Middle of the order coming up. Roy Halladay, the opposing pitcher, down 1 already. This has a significant game-changing implications right here.
Polanco is single to center, and he struck out. Round to bunt, he misses, and it's strike 1. With Halladay the runner at second, that gives the Astros something of an edge in trying to get that forced play at third base.
And Polanco there showing bunt, but he may have been just taking a pitch. Charlie Manuel may have wanted to see what the Astros were going to do defensively, how aggressive they were going to defend this bunt, whether they were going to put a wheel play on or not. Because if he's up there to bunt and the ball's in the strike zone, you better bunt it.
He does bunt it. Norris comes over, bare hands. Spencer gets the out at third. Relay to first is wide. Norris made a heck of a play, barehanding the ball and then spinning and throwing to Paredes for out number 1.
Did he ever? My goodness. You're not going to see a better play on a bunt from a pitcher. He came flying off the mound, and how he made an accurate throw, I don't know. This is just an unbelievable play. And first he takes a look, and then Paredes probably should have hung on. That's Paredes' biggest problem at the big league level has been his decision making, whether it's making throws or running the bases. You got to tighten that up a little bit. The exuberance of youth.
Yes.
Always trying to make a play, which to a point is okay, but sooner or later you got to get the feel and the timing of it all and realize when you should hang on to the ball, when you have a legitimate shot to make a play.
Hunter Pence is 0 for 2. A grounder back to the mound, a liner to center. Smacks this one into left field. Victorino stopping at third base, and the bases are loaded on the single by Pence. And now Ryan Howard bats.
Pence having a nice series here back in Houston for the first time. Homered last night.
Howard is grounded to second, although the second baseman at the time was in right field, and he has hit a fly ball to center.
Well, he had the key at bat in the game last night off of Jay Happ. Bases loaded in the 5th with 2 outs and hit a ball to the wall in left field. JD Martinez went up the wall a little bit to haul it in. Happ ends up pitching 6 innings, a 1-run baseball, picking up his 6th win of the year.
We'll see how the Astros play it on the infield. Altuve is asking for some help on where he should be stationed. There he is, not in the outfield now. With a force at any base. And the infield still shifted around, but Altuve is not out deeper like he was earlier. With the bases loaded.
His position there where he could take a sharp ground ball from Howard and go to Barmes for an awkward but plausible 4-6-3 double play.
That's true.
Barmes won't have any momentum coming across the bag when he gets the throw from Altuve, but they do have that option.
With Howard, they have a little more time. 0-2.
Be very difficult, relatively slowly hit ground ball to make that happen because they're not holding Pence on at first, so he's going to have a big jump and would be able to get into Barmes and prevent that from happening. But right now, Norris is thinking punch out. Now that he's got the jump on Howard.
Howard does punch out. 2 outs. That was big. Now it's Ibanez. 3rd strikeout for Norris.
Elevating the fastball. You see the uppercut swing from Ryan Howard, and that's a fairly typical place to go against a left-handed power hitter. Up in the zone like that.
Ibanez has grounded out to the first baseman Lee and then hit a fly ball to left. Norris has thrown just 63 pitches. 40 have been strikes.
Not having a big strikeout day, that just his third, but that's where you see a lot of really good pitchers. That's their formula: efficient, and then the power game when you need it, when you need the punch out, the ability to make pitches and to have the overpowering stuff.
A long way to right center field. Let's see if it hangs up for Schaefer. It will easily. And that is the 6th inning. So the Astros escape bases loaded. Threatening situation here in the 6th inning with no runs, 2 hits, 3 men left, and it's 1-0 Phillies.
Houston is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Gullo Automotive, treating you like family. Back up to the booth, Phil Brown and Junior Shea.
Thanks, Greg. 1-0 ball game here. Halliday leads it. Barmas the batter. Taking ball 1. That has struck out and popped short. Already we have 2 finals. Atlanta beat Florida 4-1. St. Louis took Pittsburgh 3-2. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's hit out toward left field. Ibanez coming in for it. 1 out for Halliday. J.D. Martinez next. He's grounded out twice to the left side. Edwin Jackson got his 12th win today in the St. Louis 3-2 victory at Pittsburgh over Charlie Morton. Jason Mott picked up save number 7 of the year. He's now become the closer again for the Cardinals. They've gone through a few closers this year. He looked slightly fooled by that.
Yeah, he sure did. Guessing first pitch fastball there from Halliday, looking for that runner in, and he threw him a curveball. There's the one you were looking for.
1-1 to count.
Well, that bullpen problem has plagued St. Louis all year. The veteran Ryan Franklin struggled early, and they never were really able to get it straightened out.
No. 2 balls and a strike for Halliday. He's thrown 74 pitches, 54 have been strikes.
Those first pitch strikes about as often as any pitcher in the game, 67% of the time. He starts with strike one. Only a couple of guys who are a little bit better than that.
Phillies are 22-7 in his 29 starts.
Harry Leroy, Doc Halladay.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
You know that? His name is Harry. I didn't know that.
Didn't know that at all. Carlos Lee's on deck.
Splitter.
Foul away. Maybe not his best one, but as you've said, he gets a late movement. And in and out, so it's really tough to figure where that ball is going to wind up once it starts moving if you're a hitter. In tight, and there's a walk.
In and out with good movement. Generally keeps the ball down. The Astros have been running successfully against the Phillies in this series. Stealing bases not part of J.D. Martinez's game, however.
Halladay leads all major league starters in strikeout to walk ratio. 7 strikeouts for every walk. Carlos Lee is 0 for 2. He reached on an error and he struck out. One and one to Carlos, who has a 7-game hitting streak. First pitch strikes so far for Halladay. 17. Foul back, and it's 1-2.
But generally, that's a recipe for success. But there are other ways to get it done. Tim Lincecum, for one, a guy who was very low percentage of first pitch strikes. It's such a good changeup. He throws that changeup in hitters' counts and gets a lot of outs with it.
2-2. Halladay averages 1.2 walks per 9 innings. Popped up foul. Howard coming over in front of the Astros dugout. 2 outs.
Reminiscent of Brett Saberhagen when he was in the prime of his career. Hardly walked anybody, but pile up the strikeouts.
Brian Bogusevic singled into left field in the 2nd inning. He grounded out to 2nd in the 4th. Jimmy Paredes is on deck. 4 hits for each club to this point, and each team has left 4 men on base. Foul ball for strike 1. Tony DeFrancisco has been with the Astros for the last few days. Tony's been managing the Oklahoma City club this year. He'll be managing the Escogido club in the Dominican Republic in winter ball. And Tony says Brett Wallace will be on that club. And also from the bullpen, there's Tony DeFrancisco.
It's not Joe Sambito.
No, he does kind of look like Joe, doesn't he? So Dave Carpenter will be there. Just joined the Astros organization this year. AAA manager, saw a lot of players coming and going. Bouncer up the middle. Martinez over. He'll step on second for the force play on Martinez. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded after 6, 1-0 Phillies.
And it is time for maybe trivia time. AT&T trivia question. And in this Roberto Clemente Memorial Day type ceremony, we ask you what major league player who was playing winter ball at the time was Roberto Clemente's idol as a boy, and reportedly the one who taught him how to throw.
Ooh.
That is the question. The clues will come, and I sound like I may have to start throwing them out.
Yeah. He taught Clemente how to throw.
Yeah.
He was playing winter ball.
And he was
a boy.
Yeah, he was a boy.
So this is in the 40s?
No, it was early 50s, late early 50s.
It wasn't Ralph Kiner.
No. Let me give you a clue.
Willie Mays.
They were both Clemente in winter ball, and this player in the major leagues were once teammates of Willie Mays.
Ruiz with a fly ball for out number 1, caught by Bogusevic.
All right, clue number 2.
Is it an aloo of any sort?
No. Here's clue number 2. This gentleman currently lives in Houston.
Monty Irvin?
You got it. There's a great story in a book about Clemente about the relationship between the two. I'll let you call this out.
J.D. Martinez, 2 outs.
Yeah, we'll make it official first, then I'll tell you a little bit of the side story. The AT&T trivia question, there it is. It is Monty Irvin. When Roberto was a little child, he used to climb a tree outside the stadium when he didn't have money to see the game, and he kept his eyes glued on Irvin. He watched how he did everything, including throwing. Eventually, he overcame his shyness, and Irvin used to let him get into the ballpark by having him carry one of his bags. And this was his idol. And Roberto mentioned it in his book. And years later, Monty was asked if he really did teach Clemente how to throw. And he said, yeah, I did. But, of course, he quickly surpassed me as he had one of the greatest arms of all time. Monty, now in retirement, living here near his daughter, is nearly 93 years old. But he lives here in Houston, and he's appeared several times in front of the local Sabre organization. And he can still tell some stories, I'll tell you.
1-1 to Martinez. That's in the air, and J.D. Martinez is waiting for it to make it a 1-2-3-7 with the Phillies up 1-0.
Bottom of the 7th, and Astros Oktoberfest presented by Budweiser is Saturday, September 24th here at Minute Maid Park. Purchase the discounted ticket package for a game ticket and access to the pregame event with beer sampling, live music, folk dancing, and more. Purchase tickets at Astros.com/Oktoberfest. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Looking out at the Astros bullpen, nobody warming up at the moment. The Astros trail 1-0. It's Jimmy Paredes leading it off here in the home 7th inning. Taking ball 1 from Roy Halladay. Halliday has doled out 4 hits. They've all been singles. 2 of them infield hits, 1 a bunt. Reddish rolls that one off his foot out to first base. 1-1. Jimmy dropped down an excellent bunt hit in the second inning to load the bases with nobody out. Then Halliday induced a force out at home plate on a ball hit by Altuve and a double play ball hit by Quintero. Reddish lines one into right field. The Astros get the leadoff man on here in the home 7th, down by a run, and he runs well. Altuve will be next.
If there's been one chink in the armor for Roy Halladay, it's been that leadoff man. Pretty successful reaching base against him, certainly compared to all other hitters. And guys starting the game were hitting 4-something against him for whatever reason.
Altuve is 1 for 2. He bunts hard to Howard. And the sacrifice is 3 unassisted. Paredes to second base for Quintero now.
I think if you're going to sacrifice there, then you got to pinch hit.
But Norris comes out to the on deck circle. Nobody warming up. And it's Quintero who's 0 for 2, bouncing into a double play, hitting a fly ball to center field.
Steal the base.
He started. There's strike one.
And I was talking about the last base.
Yeah.
Instead of bunting, go ahead and try to steal second base.
Took off for third there. Jammed on the brakes. Jimmy has 4 steals in 7 attempts. Bouncer to the right side. Or throwing to Howard. 2 outs. Paredes to third, and now Bud Norris will be called back for a pinch hitter. And it looks like Matt Downs coming up to hit.
A smattering of applause from the fans down by the Astros dugout as Bud ducks his head back underneath. But what a job he did this afternoon, going toe to toe with Roy Halladay, and he pitched it dandy. 3 of his last 4 have been outstanding.
7 innings of 4-hit 1-run baseball, walking 1, fanning 3. Norris gave up a leadoff double to Victorino. Polanco singled him in, and then he really reeled off the outs. 15 straight before a Halladay 6th inning single off him.
He had an impressive run, and then standing tall with the bases loaded and just 1 out, punching out Howard and getting the fly ball from Ibanez to end that 6th inning.
Downs, a .359 pinch hitter with 3 homers, 12 runs batted in. He's had 14 pinch hits. There's strike 1 to it. Downs has an OPS better than .870. No balls, 2 strikes. Norris threw 72 pitches, 46 for strikes. Downs is 1 for 2 in this series. Got that hit, reached base 3 times last night. Halladay gets a strikeout to end the Astros 7th with no runs a hit, a runner stranded at third, 1-0 Phillies. The call to the bullpen is presented by Verizon Wireless, bringing in Wilton Lopez, who warmed up quickly and now comes into this 1-0 ball game to face the pitcher spot, then Victorino and Polanco in the 8th.
And Wilton comes on for the 67th time. He's 2-6, but a very good 2.94 ERA. And pitcher spot means Roy Halladay. And obviously, he's going to stay in the game the way he's pitching. He typically does. No surprise to see him standing out there in the 8th, 9th inning. Piles up the innings.
And he singled in the 6th inning, leading off that time, and he's 1 for 2. Strike for Wilton Lopez. Lopez worked just 1/3 of an inning Sunday at Washington. He gets strike 2 with that pitch. And his outings recently have been pretty brief. 1/3 of an inning, or in one case Friday night in Washington, did not retire a batter, giving up a hit. It's 1-2 for Lopez. Lefty Wesley Wright is warming up. That's in for strike 3. Halladay caught looking. 4th strikeout for Astros pitching. We go to Patty Smith.
Well, be sure to follow the Astros with the MLB.com @BAT11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Just text @BAT to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Victorino, the batter now. He opened the game with a double and came around to score on a Polanco single. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. Redis in tight at 3rd. Ball 1 from Lopez. Catches the zone with that one. It's 1-1 on a Vic Carapazza strike 1 call.
Hey, Roy Halladay's 0-1 with Vic Carapazza behind the plate this year. Take some solace in that.
Bouncer goes foul. It's 1-2. Well, the Astros have Schaefer, Barmas, and Martinez due up in the bottom of this inning.
Wesley Wright has stopped throwing. He's just standing down in the bullpen, tossing intermittently. They're making sure he's hot so he can get ready, or hot enough so that he can get ready for a Ryan Howard confrontation should it develop. Did that young man catch that ball in that cup?
Didn't see that. 2-2. Schaefer's waiting at center field. 2 outs. That'll be Polanco, who's 1 for 3 with the only RBI in the ball game.
This is the anniversary of the George Wright hat catch play back in 1872.
What did he do?
Runners on first and second, caught the ball hit in the air, and he caught it in his hat. And then he threw the ball to third base, and then it was thrown to second base, and Wright was trying to claim a double play because you cannot legally catch the ball with your hat. So he's saying he was treating it like a ground ball, and argued that there should have been 2 force outs. The umpire, in his infinite wisdom, said, "No, it's bogus." He just did a do-over and let the hitter bat again. Okay. Such was the nature of baseball in 1872.
That George Wright, always thinking.
Yeah.
Strike 2, Polanco. That evens a count of 1-1. The Braves beating Florida today 4-1. O'Flaherty, the winner, and Nolasco lost it. Kimbrel got his 44th save. That helps them out in their wild card race.
He's pretty much locked down the National League Rookie of the Year award, I think.
4.5 game lead now, 4 in the loss column for Atlanta over St. Louis. also won today, but it's a case of buying time for the Braves with that nice lead.
Yeah, as long as they just don't completely collapse. If they win half their games the rest of the way, they should be in good shape.
Their magic number is at 9 to clinch the wild card. Out to right field, Bogusevic makes the play for 1-2-3-8 for Wilton Lopez. Phillies 1, Astros nothing. Clint Barmas last night, a 3-run homer in the 4th inning off Cole Hamels using Craig Biggio's bat. Home run number 11 of the year. The Astros went on to win it 5-2 by that 3-run margin he provided.
Biggio's bat's always been good against left-handed pitching.
Jimmy Rollins is in the game at shortstop. Michael Martinez has moved from shortstop to second base. Pete Orr coming out of the game. Rollins in the number 7 spot, previously occupied by Orr. That was strike 1 to Schaefer, who's 1 for 3. Going bunt, he looks at strike 2. .98 pitches for Halladay. He gets a strikeout. Number 5.
Making good use of that split finger pitch here this afternoon, and that was just a perfectly placed splitter. So it starts on the plate and then dives down and away.
Halladay shooting for win number 18. Faces Clint Barmas now. Barmas 0 for 3. To left field toward the line and headed for the corner, but is it fair? No. Strike 1 for him.
They haven't made many mistakes today, but again, it looked like he started Barmas with a splitter there. That one kind of tumbled and hung a little bit. He got away with it.
And Colt 45 jersey made a good play.
Rewarding himself with a sip of cold beverage. Life gets no better.
Ground ball goes foul, and it's 0-2. Juggling play by that spectator.
Guy spent the whole day, the trip here, telling his wife or girlfriend, whoever his significant other is out there, that yeah, I used to play a little ball. Had the chance to prove it, and he made the play.
J.D. Martinez on deck. Halladay spins it up there and gets strikeout number 6.
Those guys who seems to get tougher as the game moves along. Working in sync with Carlos Ruiz. Ruiz was behind the plate for Halliday's perfect game and no-hitter last year. First time a catcher has got 2 no-hitters in the same season since Randy Hundley back in '72. He got no-hitters of Bert Hooton and Milt Pappas.
Liner by Martinez to left, a hit blocked with the body of Ibanez. He got caught in between and then realized he couldn't let that ball get past him. A well hit single with 2 outs for Martinez.
Remember last time up, Martinez took that bad hack at the first pitch curveball because he was looking for that fastball coming in on him. This time he got it. Perhaps outsmarting Halladay, who probably thought, well, he's got to be thinking about that curveball because he looked so bad on it last time. I'll start him with the heater. JD double-crossed him.
Pinch runner is Jason Bourgeois at first base. Martinez checking out after a 1-for-3 day with a walk. Bourgeois could be running here. Carlos Lee, the batter. Bourgeois has 27 steals, 33 tries. He stole a base last night. Had 2 hits and drove in a run, scored a run. Astros had 2 steals today by Schaefer and Altuve.
Going there, among all the intelligence that a manager will get, he'll know how often the Phillies pitch out, what counts Charlie Manuel pitches out on. And I'll kind of use that along with everything else that's going on in the game to make your determination whether to turn a guy loose. I suspect he would want to try to steal the base here to give Carlos a chance to drive in the tying run.
It's 1-1 to Carlos. Bogasevic on deck. Adrian Gonzalez hit home run number 26 today for Boston. It's 4-2 Red Sox. High drive to left field, but it's not going to go deep enough for Astros fans to be happy. It's out number 3. No runs a hit and a man stranded. Moving to the 9th, 1-0 Phillies. Major League Baseball, our leaders of the game, is brought to you by United. Proud to fly the Houston Astros. Roberto Clemente won the Gold Glove every year from 1961 through 72, and he died after that 72 season, right after he got hit number 3,000 in a plane crash on a mercy mission to Nicaragua to help out earthquake victims. Hunter Pence leads it off against Wilton Lopez in the 9th inning. He's 1 for 3. Strike 1 to Pence. Lopez had a 1-2-3-8 in relief of Bud Norris. The Astros have Bogasevic, Paredes, and Altuve due up in the home 9th inning.
1-2-3 has been the norm for the Philly hitters today against Norris and Lopez. 6 out of the 8 innings they've gone down in order.
And Ariel Del Rosario is warming up for Houston. Pence fouls it. It's 0-2 to Hunter. Jason Bourgeois stays in the game to play left field after pinch running for JD Martinez. The Astros have out hit the Phillies 6-4. Phillies have led 1-0 since the second batter of the game. Victorino led off with a double and scored on a single by Polanco. The Astros have stranded 7. The Phillies have left 4. Each club with bases loaded opportunities and not scoring with those chances. White Sox lead Detroit 5-2. They've played 6 at U.S. Cellular in Chicago. 1-2 for Lopez. The Angels just getting underway at Oakland, failed to score in the top of the first inning. San Diego has a run in the top of the first at San Francisco against Tim Lincecum. Hunter's not biting, and it's 2-2. With Howard on deck, Ibanez 2 up third. Cubs and Reds play tonight in Cincinnati. It's Coleman versus Cueto in that matchup. Now 3-2 for Pence. $20,027 is the paid attendance. Pence loops one foul. Just out of the reach of that fan. Still a 3-ball 2-strike count. The native of Fort Worth, Texas. As it turns out, they're very happy. Minnesota and Kansas City just about to get started in Kansas City. Strikeout. Lopez throws it by Pence for his second K.
They tried to get him to chase up, tried to get him to chase down, and then ultimately was able to just beat him with a good heater right over the heart of the plate.
Now 2 lefty hitters coming up. Brad Mills will go to the left-handed side of his bullpen. Had Wesley Wright getting ready with Howard and Ibanez, both left-handed hitters. 2 up next. 1-0 Philadelphia. Back in a moment.
Excitement begins September 30th with the Division Series on TBS. That's the second season. That's something new. We got something new on the mound. And here's Bill Brown.
Thank you, Greg. Fans watching Wesley Wright warm up now with these 2 left-handed hitters coming up for the Phillies. He comes in on a good roll lately. His ERA is down to 1.08 for 13 games with the Astros, and he has 11 straight scoreless appearances.
Lefty's 1 out of 18 against Wesley, so he gets the call here. A couple of dangerous left-handed bats coming up at Howard and Ibanez. Howard is so far 0 for Houston in this series. 0 for 3 today. 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday. 0 for 4 in the opening game of this series. He's either struggling or due, depending on your perspective.
232 is his average against left-handed pitching with 3 homers. Infield shifted around as usual with Altuve in shallow right field. Ibanez is on deck for the Phils. Schaefer's actually moving over toward left center now. Strike one for Wright. Wilton Lopez in 1 1/3 innings allowed no hits, no runs with no walks. He struck out 2. In tight to Howard. It's a 1-1 count. Wright's had some rest since his last appearance a week ago last night. That was in Pittsburgh. It's 2 balls and a strike. Sergio Escalona is now out for the year with a sprained ankle. So Wright for a day or two was the only lefty in the Astros bullpen before they promoted Xavier Cedeno from the minor leagues. He had gone home after the minor league season was over. Howard goes to a 2-2 count now. Lucas Harrell's warming up for Houston. Bogusevic, Paredes, and Altuve will bat in the bottom of the 9th. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Phillies have won 20 games with shutouts of their 94 wins for Charlie Manuel this year. And their pitchers have put together 17 complete games. That's a strikeout for out number 2.
Halladay will be shooting for his 8th complete game in the bottom half of the 9th. Tying the big fella up, a little 2-seamer off the plate inside, but a guy who hasn't done much lately, trying to inflict some damage, more likely to chase a bad ball.
Halladay does not have a complete game shutout this year. Ibanez looks at strike one. He is 0 for 3 in this game. The Phillies have come into Houston and their hit totals have been 6, 5, and so far 4 in a 3-game series. Oh, and 2. Ball and 2 strikes to Ibanez. Tomorrow's a travel day for the Astros. They move into Chicago. Begin their final road trip of the year. That's Friday afternoon, the opener of the Chicago series at Wrigley Field. 3 games there and 3 in Cincinnati to wrap up the road portion of the schedule. Return home for 4 with Colorado and 3 with St. Louis.
It'll be our last chance to go to Hathaway's coffee shop.
Oh, forgot about that place.
until next April.
You and Dave Raymond like to frequent that place for the big breakfast, right?
It's good pancakes there.
Okay. In tight for a ball. It's 2-2. Wesley Wright has spent a lot of time this season at Oklahoma City. But here at the end of the year, he's putting together a very nice finish. Wesley, 26 years old, from Montgomery, Alabama. Strike 3 call. Strikes out Howard and Ibanez. Ian Lopez strike out the side in the 9th. Now Halladay heads out with a 1-0 lead.
with a 1-0 lead, and each week throughout the season we'll give you a chance to see some of Texas's best high school football gridiron matchups online. Just log on to foxsportshouston.com and check out the best high school football in the state. We continue our coverage Saturday night at 7 p.m. with Westfield High School versus Hastings. Join us all season long as Fox Sports Houston is your home for high school football in Texas. Bill?
Ryan Madsen's warming up, and also Brad Lidge in the Phillies bullpen, Patty, as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's Roy Halladay nursing the 1-0 lead, facing Brian Bogusevic, who singled in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 3. Rolls over on that one, and it's a foul, strike one to open the home 9th inning. Halladay shooting for win number 18 of the year, trying to get his first complete game shutout. He has 65 career complete games, 7 of those this year. It's 0-2.
7 complete games for Halladay, the most of anybody in the National League. James Shields over there in the American League leads all pitchers with 11.
Bogusevic to left center field. Ibanez going back. Victorino now calls him off it. 1 out. Jimmy Paredes will come up. He has 2 of the Astros hits. Former Astro Lidge on the right and Madsen the closer on the left. Neither one has pitched in this series. Paredes bunted for a hit in the 2nd inning to load the bases with nobody out. Then Halladay got tough, and he singled to right in the 7th. Altuve's on deck. That's ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. 6 hits for the Astros, 4 for the Phillies. The Phillies have the only error in the game. The Astros have stranded 7. Phillies have left 4. Hit out to shortstop, backhanded. Rollins with a strong throw, gets him. 2 outs.
Boy, big play there. Paredes with his speed, certainly a good candidate to steal second base and work his way into scoring position. But Rollins with a heck of a play. Martinez made one early in the ball game, and now Rollins handles this one on the backhand side and quickly unloads. So close, but they got him.
Big stretch by Howard. 2 outs, and it's Altuve batting. He's 1 for 2 with a sac bunt. Right off the end of the bat, there's strike 1. J.B. Shuck comes out to the on-deck circle. Quintero's due up next. The Astros have been shut out 9 times this year, most recently by Milwaukee here. 0-2.
This is Halladay's 2nd career start in this ballpark. Last year he went 9 innings of 1-run baseball here. It was an unearned run.
Phillies fans standing, and Halladay finishes it with a strikeout of Altuve. Win number 18 for Roy Halladay is a complete game shutout. His 8th complete game of the season. His ERA was 2.44. He has lowered that today in his bid for another Cy Young. Final score, Philadelphia 1, Houston 0.